thought I'd make something totally different today. Last night my son was practicing his piano and there's been a key that's been sticking and having a lot of problems with on this old piano that we have. And so I decided I'd fix it. I thought it was a simple matter of just finding where it was sticking and pushing it over so that the key would work better. As you can see, I've got the piano into lots of pieces here. Disassembled the whole thing. These are the keys. These things just pop up like that. They come up. They just pivot on these tangs that are in here, and they just sit in there nice and neatly. And they push on a row of hammers that sits along this area of the piano, which is now down here on the floor. Let's see if I can pick this up without dropping it, causing any damage to anything. My dog would get out of the way. I had gone through a lot of the piano keys and searched in between everything, and I found this one particular one. It's missing right here. I pulled it out already, and there was a busted piece of wood that fit up inside here where my finger goes, and it had caused, most of these have a little spring on them, and the spring was all wacky. It fits right in here and it was going all over the place, and so I had to pull this thing out by getting this whole thing out to begin with. And then there's a little screw along the back side. Right there, I left the screw in so I wouldn't lose it. Put it back in there so that it'd stay put. And I unfastened that, pulled the thing out, and I'll show you in a minute what I did with it. Here's the piece that I was working on last night, and I ended up pulling this apart. But there we go. You get him, kitty. This is the piece that was hanging loose. This piece right here was just hanging loose and it wasn't fastened because one of these columns, let's see which one, it would be this side here, I guess, because this is the side that has the new glue on it. This side here had fallen off, so it was hanging by itself, and so the spring was not seating properly and it wasn't setting in there. So I can't use any of the technical terms because I really don't know what any of this stuff is called. But basically it was a piece kind of like this, except this is a different piece here. And I'll show you what I had to do to go find this piece. It was missing. First off, the piece was up in here, and I assumed it had fallen in here somewhere, but I ended up pulling all of these keys off, hunting for it underneath all the keys, and couldn't find it anywhere. Eventually, see, I think I have a flashlight here, underneath, and I had to go underneath my piano into the dark areas of the piano where there's all kinds of filth and dust and dirt. It's quite scary looking. And right back here near where the strings are and down in the bottom, I ended up finding my missing piece back here in this dirty part down here and then underneath part. And eventually I found it down in the bottom where I was just showing you. And it was a perfect match, so I found it, the one that fit there. I glued it last night and it should be all hard. And so I'm going to go take this piece, which now works, and put it back in, and hopefully that'll fix our piano so that all of our keys will work. At least I hope all of our keys will work. Except that one piece that I found that I just showed you that's missing off of one of these. It looks like it's the same kind of a piece, but of course I don't know what it came off of. None of the other keys is broken, but as you can see, it has a little pinhole through it, so it's the side for something. So I'm just going to leave it inside my piano, right there where it's easy to find, so that if I ever have another one break and I realize, oh, that's the other piece that's missing, I'll know where it is. I'll just leave it set right there in my piano. Now this piano, I think, is about a it's early 1900s piano. It's an old one. And I know absolutely nothing about pianos, but I know how mechanical things work, so I didn't have too much fear about pulling it apart. Now we'll find out if I can put it back together. Okay, so I got the thing sitting on my lap right now. And I think this goes up like that. I wonder if this thing's in focus enough. And I guess I'm going to have to pull this screw out first. Get that back out. And this goes up like that. It's going to go in there. There we go. Now it's just a matter of sticking the screw back in, then flipping it over to see if there's anything that I missed when I pushed it up in there that didn't line up. The little metal piece goes there. Hopefully that'll fix. Let's see how it works. Okay. There it is. That looks pretty good. It's kind of in place. And I'll have to fasten this thing back on. Pulls it back into place and keeps it from getting out of place. And then I can start putting it back together. Before I put it back together, I thought, well, I may as well go ahead and clean it, because man, it is a mess. It has all kinds of dirt and scum, everything, so all of that stuff looks really bad. I'm just going to vacuum and clean everything out. So I've been pulling all the keys off. Fortunately, they're all numbered. They have numbers along the side, so you don't get them mixed up or anything. So it's kind of like a paint by numbers kind of piano repair. There's another one of those. Hang on to that in case I need it. Got a few more up there. Okay, found a harmonic I forgot I had down underneath here. But anyway, I'm trying to clean it up a little bit before I put it back. I'll try and piece it back together in a minute. So I'll show you after I've gotten the vacuum where I'm at. There goes the screwdriver. Place this back into here. Find the place where it fits. We'll see how we can do here. This will go back up on that. Okay. It's right on these things here. And I did lose one of these. So one of these is not going to be fastened the way it should. Oops, I forgot that I was filming this, and I put the whole thing back together, and I forgot to film each time I was doing this, but it's now back together. I didn't put the bottom underneath still. It's still open, but I did put everything else back together. And everything seems to be need to tune it. Seems like all the keys are working now.